Hey, people, an Edsel truck. Yeah, this 1959 Edsel 350 is a tow truck and super cool. The Edsel Car Company was born out of the optimism of the 1950s and is named for Henry Ford's son, Edsel Ford. The Edsel mark was a middle child of Ford from 1958 until 60, just 3 model years before Ford pulled the plug. GM had the progression of promotion. People start with a Chevrolet and then make more money so they can move up through the GM cars to Pontiac, then Oldsmobile, and up to Buick, and finally to the ultimate luxury of Cadillac. Ford had no such progression for the customer. It would start with a Ford and then move quite a bit up market to the Mercury and finally ascending to the luxury Lincoln. Nothing in between Ford and Mercury. And this is where Edsel came into the picture, the stepping stone from Ford to Mercury. However, the reality of Ford marketing is that the lowest priced Edsel cost around the same as the most expensive Ford, the Ford Fairlane 500, and the highest priced Edsel cost almost as much as the highest priced Mercury, the Park Lane. That really can't be considered middle ground between Ford and Mercury, and I believe this is the biggest reason for customer rejection and one of the biggest failures in the automotive industry. Many point to Edsel styling as being the culprit for low sales, but I contend that Edsel styling was no more radical than other marks of the time. See the 58 Impala, by the way, and Edsels were of good quality as well. But Ford lost an estimated $350 million on Edsel, which is a staggering $3.9 billion in 2026 dollars. Only 118,000 Edsels were built over 3 model years, and that's a small amount when dedicated factories and dealerships exist. Edsel offered a wide range of cars at around 18 variants from 4 models, including convertibles, hardtops, sedans, and wagons, giving Edsel dealers a showroom full of cars. However, what's missing here is, you know it, trucks. Now, we know that Edsel didn't actually make trucks, but Edsel dealers were clamoring for a truck, so Ford heard their pleas and made up a package that could be applied to a standard Ford truck, and voila, an Edsel truck. Now, this one shown here is a tribute built by a gentleman to move his collection of cars around, and using the Ford recipe, he had a Ford F-350. Now, it's the only one I've ever seen out there, so Edsel trucks, they're scarce as a hen's teeth. Paint codes, graphics, and other information were provided by Ford to instruct Edsel dealers of how to properly make their truck, and Ford dealers were strongly encouraged to support the effort. And different variants were built, including cab-overs and panel delivery vehicles, in addition to pickups. Now, if this were a factory-built Edsel truck, wouldn't it be appropriate to have the horse collar grill? Man, that would be fab. But I love how this tribute has Edsel spelled out across the hood opening. The space-aged E for Edsel on the door that was part of the Ford prescribed paint package. And by the way, the cool Edsel badge, complete with horse collar grill depicted, is awesome. The quad headlights are a fave design of mine, even on trucks. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this look back at a 1959 Edsel tow truck. God bless and peace. Hey, much of the information from this video came from Rick DeBrule. Look him up on YouTube.